You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
How's Streety?
He's good. He's just sitting right behind the camera.
How's his six-pack legit?
He's fucking cut to shit, bro. It's absurd.
That would not happen if we trained like him.
No, it wouldn't happen at all. That's the thing. It's like he's cut as fuck. His arms, and like, you know, not in a gay way, but kind of in a gay way. I catch myself just staring at him.
That's
like,
not gay.
Well, like it kind of is, but I'm being honest. I'm looking at him going like, fuck.
Like it is gay, but like you can't help it, you know?
Well, it's exactly right. It's not a choice. I catch myself, I'm looking at him right now. He's got just thick fucking veins in both his arms. He's rocking a muscle singlet.
I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're straight, which I have every reason to believe that you are,
Yep.
but you still want to fuck a man, does that on a one-off occasion, like generally speaking, you don't find men attractive, but sometimes you do want to fuck one or two of them.
Mm.
What is that?
Look,
where's that?
I think that I'm currently not looking at him like I want to have sex with him. I'll be honest about that. But, you know, I think if it becomes like a habit, something you're doing regularly, if you're having sex with men regularly, I think then you are gay.
Mm. Yeah.
One off, just to sort of try it out, I think you have a healthy appetite and maybe just an interest in all of the sights, senses, and flavors this world has to offer.
You're curious.
Hey, you know what?
Yep.
Like fucking, if you climb Mount Everest once, are you a mountaineer? No, you climbed a mountain once.
Yeah.
Good for you. You were interested in getting to the highest peak in all the land. I'm looking to fuck a guy with veins in both his arms.
Yep.
I'm not.
I'm looking to climb onto a peak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, I must reiterate, not there yet, but I am observing a man that's in just primo nick.
Phenom Nick.
Mm-hmm. I'm well and truly back, punters and dribblers, Japanese lager. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's just
I'm having a tequila.
But you actually sound like you've got sicker since we last spoke.
Well, I've just done an hour and a half of award-winning gaming show about Even.
Yeah.
And I had to be up and about, skeleton crew, Tom, such as it was.
Yeah.
I had to lift.
Yeah.
And it's just taken a bit out of me. It's just a But
so
I feel
it's
cherry
made you congested.
ripe. I feel cherry ripe. I just sound congested.
Right. So about Even, you're saying, has made you congested.
More congested, yep. Because we spoke this morning, and the only thing that's changed is that I did about Even.
You sounded this sick this morning.
I thought you said I sounded more sick.
Well, I just meant since the last time we spoke on a podcast.
Right. I thought you meant since the phone call this morning, and I'm like, well, that would be about Even.
Well, that too. But no, I just meant generally since the people have heard you.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a little bit nasally. I'm not going to run away from it.
No, you can't.
You
sound like you were, and I didn't want you to. Because there's nothing wrong with being nasally. You know, shock horror, I got sick a couple of days, and I'm back thanks to our good friends at begoodhealth.com.au. It's not a huge deal. Someone fucking, you see people go, oh, he's sick. Oh, that's a good ad for Good Day. It's like, cunt. I don't know how many times we got to say this to you. There's nothing that exists in this world that will stop you from ever getting sick again. Life is what it is. You just need to roll with the punches. No pun intended. Hamish Street, great arms. You got to roll with the punches, have your good day, and then you're back, fight and fit, sort of.
Exactly.
Almost.
Like I've had a big week, and this is the worst I am. This nasally. Like,
yeah,
you take that every day of the fucking week.
Yes, you do.
Wake up to yourselves and go to begoodhealth.com.au. Good Day Daily Multivitamin. It fucks the rugby league house down. And
yeah, it does.
If you haven't tried it, don't be a hater, lad. Don't
be a hater, lad.
It's like people sitting there hating on sweet potato, broccoli.
Who's doing that?
Fucking who's doing that? People.
Ginger.
That's just ginger. People.
Turmeric.
Turmeric. People would have gone through their lives being like, I don't like vegetables. Having not, woken up to themselves and just tried out some of the real delicacies out there. And I'm putting Be Good Health
into the vegetable category.
Good Day up there in the vegetable category. That's what I'm doing.
No, I like that. What's the weather like down there? Tobler told me that we had a leak in the C-suite.
Yeah, I went in there today. It's fine.
Yeah, there was a massive puddle in it last night when I went to drop the keys off.
You didn't wee in there or something, mate?
No, not that I remember.
Okay.
And we had some fucking heavy rain yesterday, so it looked like it was coming up under a
been
tile.
Wet, eh?
Very wet.
Yep. It actually shit down yesterday at parts. Shit.
Really?
But then the sun came out in the afternoon and then it shit down again.
Then rained again last night and then sun out now.
Well, yeah, look, no rain in the GC. I'll tell you that for free. Oh God, man. I tell you what, it's an inviting part of the world, the Gold Coast. Like, you know, real estate's a bit cheaper. The weather's basically always good. It's sleepier.
You moving?
Also has a casino. No, I'm not. I'm not moving. What I am saying is that it makes a good case for itself. It's a good style of a bloke.
Mate, I'm with you. I can see the appeal. I can see how, you know, a slower, cheaper, more accessible lifestyle would appeal to the punter and the dribbler. I get that. I do. Unfortunately, like, part of me just wishes I could sometimes just go wherever the fuck I wanted in this big, wide world of ours, but
yep.
I'm tied to you a little bit, which is annoying.
Yep. It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate that I've hitched myself to your wagon and yours to mine.
Yep.
Like,
it's not ideal.
It's bad fruit. I mean, it's not ideal. How long is this going to go on for?
That's what I mean.
Essentially what I'm saying. How fucking long do I have to hang out with you for?
Yeah.
Really?
I know, because, like, at some point...
when am I going to wake up and go, I don't need to see that guy anymore?
Yeah. Oh, I can see your call and just go, nah. I'll get back to him.
Yeah, I don't need to pick up your calls 4 or 5 times a day, which
no
is wearing thin, you know?
Correct. Well, at what point do we get to have our Fast and the Furious moment where we are driving in cars next to each other and our roads just peel and go the other way?
Because we will peel.
Oh, and work.
We will peel. I don't know when we're peeling, and I don't know when we're working.
No.
And this might sound like a breakup. It's not.
Oh, this isn't a breakup. This is just two men, you know, contemplating life after love. Yeah. Life after love, exactly. Better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Botticelli said Botticelli? Who said that?
Andrea Bocelli?
Is it Bocelli?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know that he said that. Andrea Bocelli of Time to Say Goodbye fame?
I'm just wondering who said that, Tobler?
Nat King Cole saying, is it better to have loved and lost?
I feel like she's pillaged that saying.
Nat King Cole's a guy.
Oh, sorry, Nat, you know, who cares? I feel like that's not their saying.
You don't think Nat came up? Nat's one of the greats, by the way.
I'm not knocking Nat. What's your favourite Nat King Cole song?
Let me try and sing it. I can't. It's something
you gotta try now. Sing the fucking thing, mate.
It's about like a monkey
Sing
flying.
the fucking song.
I can't get it going in my head.
You
I can't
said Nat King
it.
Cole was one of the greats. You can't sing one fucking song.
Nat King Cole is like one of those guys where he's like old school, 50s, jazz sort of music. He's on at Christmas time. Something about a monkey flying. It was always on in my grandma's car. She had a cassette of Nat King Cole and it was on fucking repeat.
Straighten up and fly right.
Straighten up and fly right. Thank you. There it is. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Ooh, my bum, and was blow your top. That one. That song.
Yeah, right. Okay. I didn't hear any monkeys in there, but I do respect that you got it.
I did get there.
Alfred Tennyson wrote the line originally.
There you go.
But he wasn't a
Knew
singer.
it couldn't have been that. It was too, like, poetic.
Who was Tennyson? Is he a poet?
Do you reckon we're running out of quotes?
Yeah, he was a poet.
You know when you think like...
we were running out of quotes until surround yourself with goals and you too shall go. So, like, they're still coming up.
But is that the last great quote? I don't know. I can't really, like... You know, I'm just trying to think about, you know, when you think about like presidential statements and shit like that, I have a dream. Would not ask not what you can do for you, or what your country can do for you, what you can do for your country. Fucking, I'd like to apologize to absolutely nobody. Slightly less.
Did you see Conor McGregor the other day?
Where, on Tucker Carlson? Talking about being a president?
No, off his guts at that festival.
No.
Have we got the ability to watch that together, Tobler?
Yeah, we'll find it and then we can watch it. Tom, you can watch it on your phone.
Connor off his guts at a festival?
This is gut. Like, he gets up on the stage and is like, it's
Jesus
tough, bro.
And he's running for president, which is like just so punchy.
When you're Ireland?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
he was he's on Tucker Carlson talking about like the plight of the Irish people. And you're like, dude, aren't you just pounding rack and fucking the rest, allegedly?
Isn't it? It's crazy how the mighty have fallen. It's crazy, bro.
There's a delusion there where you've had too many things go right for you, where you think you can run for president. And shit, I mean, I guess when you've also called that many shots of your own, you're like, fuck it, I can do that. But it's like, you've got to be a little bit more presidential, don't you? Even Trump doesn't drink, right? Like, say what you want about that guy, but
he's not panning out 8 balls every night.
Off his guts at festies.
And that's alleged.
Well, that's alleged.
I think we can draw a line.
Well, people allege that.
As Tobler gets this up and loads it up and does what he needs to do, in answer to your question, are we running out of quotes, Tom? Yes, we are, and I wanna point out why I think that is. I think the English language largely has gone to the dogs.
Yeah.
Speaking eloquently is a thing of the rugby league past. People don't really write anymore. It's all
not
up
on this
to
podcast.
Certainly,
Eloquent. Speaking eloquently, I mean.
Yeah, but at least we're still coming up with quotes.
That's what I mean. We speak eloquently and we come up with quotes. That's right. My point.
We're doing our bit, but the rest of society is not.
Yeah.
I think the last great poets behind us, like the last great composer, is behind us. The last great orators likely behind us, and society deteriorating into the muck.
Yeah. Into the sludge.
Into the sludge.
Think about this. Think about that. Remember that society grows great when men plant trees, the shade of which they'll never sit in. Who's thinking like that these days?
Seriously.
It's all about bloody, getting your titties out on the gram, on the OnlyFans. It's
about freeing the nip. It's about shaking your. It's about twerking. Yeah. It's all been dumbed down. And that may well be by design.
Well, it's about body positivity now. It's also about Ozempic. Like there's a conflict, there where it's societally speaking, no one knows what the fuck what they really even think anymore.
Yeah.
It's all over the map.
Yeah, it's all over the map. I mean, we are all over the map. Which could be caused by just too much information, too much choice.
Too much choice.
Also, there's too much to do these days, potentially, Tom.
Yeah.
Back in the 1800s when, it took 5 days to go down the shops to get some milk,
And the milk was off by the time you got home.
You got to scull it on the way home. You'd see people 3 times in a lifetime and they're your best mates, and you're sending letters. And if you said that you had to be at the bar at 2 p.m. on a Friday, you'd be there at 2 p.m. on a Friday in 6 months' time. Well, you'd be there at 1:50.
You'd be there at 1:50, mate.
100, but with your shoes tied tight, Tom, with your belt done up and your tie on and a nice jacket.
Yeah, hairbrushed.
Smelling
of roses.
That's right. I mean, I look to myself, Tom, as evidence of the deterioration of humankind in my writing ability. Like, you don't have to go back that long and people had beautiful penmanship. Mine is horrific.
Yours is the worst I've seen in anyone over the age of 8. Mine's not great, but yours is particularly foul. It's hard to read. It's actually hard to read.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Thanks for rubbing that in. So I'm with you, mate. I don't think there's any great poets left besides potentially you and I.
Are we the last great poets?
Well, when you think about surrounding yourself with goers and you two shall go, no one, as far as I'm aware, is coming up with stuff like that.
No.
No one.
No one.
It's not happening.
No.
And if it is, show me. Point me in the right direction. Prove it. All we've got now is people yelling at each other about things they don't know about.
Yeah.
And using like way too much. Like. That's infested the English language as well, the word like.
Yep.
Tobley, have you got a video for us?
Yeah.
No way.
Where the fuck is this?
A rocking country evening tonight, and I'm here to let you know it's about to get a whole lot better.
Some weird fucking bumpkin concert in Nashville.
Right now, I'm about to introduce to you.
And then apparently stayed up there the whole concert off his guts, yelling and shit.
He doesn't, to be completely honest, the scene not fucked up there.
You don't think so?
No. By his standards.
I'm just saying, well, okay. Even if you park that, what are you doing?
Well, I don't know what he's doing. Probably promoting something. But listen, I'm going to give him a pass there. I actually think you're being mean. I don't think he was that fucked up.
Sure. Okay. Fine.
But listen, I was expecting to see him off his guts. He was able to really, like, from a Conor McGregor perspective,
I just think
curate sentences pretty well.
I just think Conor McGregor, the dizzying heights he was at to now doing weird intros at concerts like that is just a bit...
Oh, it's sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, listen, I'm agreeing with you there.
Now, I was given information by the person who sent that video in that he was off his guts, but I know that doesn't show it in the video. So I'll acknowledge that. I will acknowledge that.
Yeah, okay, good. That's all. Listen, and I wasn't even asking for you to acknowledge it. I was just more giving commentary on it.
Yeah.
But I do think
I'm a fair guy.
what's evident is you didn't watch the video.
I did watch the video, but I paired it in the knowledge of the messages I received around it.
Okay, right. It's very easy for that to happen, you know, like if someone gives you the perspective on something before you've seen it.
Yes.
That's the problem. It's the problem these days, you know, because I see that without any background, apart from you telling me he was fucked up and going, was he in shorts? Was he in shorts in there? That was because it was hard to see. He did look like his shorts were very short.
Dobler is in short shorts, mate. Can you zoom in on that?
Yeah, he is in short shorts.
He's in short shorts. It's too hard for us to see. You can get up for you.
Yeah,
I know short shorts when I see him.
They look Daisy Dukes.
Are you finished, Streety? You finished your work?
The great Hamish Street fighting this Saturday.
Yeah, he is. He'll be up right after this. Punters and Dribblers are brought to you by the greatest beer in all of God's Greenland, and that is 4 Pints Japanese Lager. We had one of the great racing days on the weekend. Shout out to 4 Pints and the ATC. And it was fueled by 4 Pints Japanese Lager. And this isn't a joke, drank it dry. They ran out of 4 Pints Japanese Lager. That's how much the Dribblers were frothing on it.
They completely ran out. There was nothing sweeter, Tom, than watching Dribblers yipping and yahooing with cans of Japanese lager in hand or sucking it back off tap.
Yeah.
It was that sort of day. It was horses for courses, really. I mean, if you're a can operator, you could can up, baby. If you're a off the wood style of a bloke, then you could do that too. That was the power of Japanese lager, and it made the day that much better. Pure and simple.
Shout out to 4 Pines. Get them wherever you get your beers, cases, 6-packs, et al.
I interrupt this podcast transmission to tell you that Ned's is the greatest betting platform on the planet and that I had a huge win on the weekend. This is obviously an opportunity to gloat, and it's an opportunity to glaze our good friends at Ned's. Now, you can follow along on our profiles, and if you did on the weekend, you would have made some money from your boy Tommy Burns. You can join the About Even group in there. The code is Dribblers. You get in. That's where the hosted pots happen. That's all possible with our good friends at Ned's. So you got to get on there. If you're going to have a punt, obviously it's always responsible, punters and dribblers. There's no need to make it irresponsible. But if you're on there, a responsible thing would be to also just check out the profiles and join the About Even group. Shout out to Ned's. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
All right, we're back with the one and only Hamish Street. Street Fighter Street. Days away. As of recording, we are coming to Wednesday, the 23rd of April 2025. 3 days away, 3 days until punch on time.
TikTok, motherfucker.
How you feeling, Streety?
How you feeling?
Good. I'm feeling good. It's one of those things where you get asked that a lot. Like, it's kind of like your wedding. How you feeling, man? How you feeling? And everyone doesn't realize that they're the 20th person to ask that. For them, it's it's a nice thing to ask, and it's obviously an obvious question to ask, but it's a complicated answer because I've thought about it a lot, having answered it a lot. Yeah. And it's like, you're obviously nervous because it's kind of like the nervous energy of jumping out of an airplane. You're also fucking excited. So the other thing is as well, I'm feeling calmer than I thought I would. And I think some of that comes with just this beautiful house that we've got. I've got my family with me. I'm here with the Birminghams. Yep. And we're just having a great time, aren't we, Tom? Like, just love eating meals. We're watching Netflix last night. It just doesn't feel much like any other day, really, which is but there's a war drum banging. And it's exciting. So
is Tommy rubbing you down or what? Like, is he fucking getting you ready? Tommy?
Mate, well, I've been rubbing him down with my eyes, Edward, as we've already disced. If my eyes were a masseuse, I would have been fucking giving him happy endings. But
we played a very civilized game of chess last night.
Who won?
I took his queen, and so I was, a queen up, and he says 2 minutes later, I think we should pause the game and go look after the kids for a bit.
Just
sitting up there.
Is that how you want to? Sorry, I have 3 fucking kids running around and my wife's giving me daggers every time she walks past. It's like dinner time, witching hours. I said, pause the game, put it up there. You also leave out that I've actually got you in some fucking hot curry. I've taken like every other piece of yours. Sacrificed a queen by accident. I'm fucking, mate, you're on the back foot.
A weird opening, I don't know, for those of you who play chess.
How dare you throw that out?
He did like
That's
the side
graceful
out as his opening move. I'm like, okay, he doesn't play chess, I don't think. That's a weird opening.
Yeah,
then he turned out and set some traps, but he lost his queen.
Go look at the board, though. Listen, we should go look at the board because I think it's actually, you could argue it's evenly poised considering I lost my queen, which was a humongous fuck up. As soon as he took it, I was like, as soon as I made the move and took my finger off the piece, I was like, you're an idiot. You're an absolute fucking idiot.
Have you got any opportunities to get one back? Get a queen back?
Oh yeah, I've been having a good honest crack at the queen, but no, his queen is now not really my focus.
Are you in a position to get your own queen?
Oh, as in like get down the end.
Get the end. Get a prawn down the end.
That's a Hail Mary, Edward. I don't think that's going to...
Well, I'm asking. I don't know how advanced the game is. I don't know where he's at. Do you play
chess often, Edward? I haven't played for a while, but I did play a fair bit growing up.
I played a little bit growing up, but me and Dad used to play a bit.
That feels like latter stages of the game when you're trying to... Like,
I don't know how late the game is.
Asshole.
I don't know how late the game is.
No, it's a fair question. It's a good question. And it would be, that's such a cool way to win.
Because you just said that all his pieces are gone and you've lost your coin. So I'm like, is this in its later stages?
When I mean all his pieces, I mean like all his main character pieces, like they're largely under severe attack or they've been taken.
I think it's even on pieces, but one of the pieces
it's even on pieces. If you want to count pawns, you fucking loser. Look, there's also a part of this, Edward, which it can't be overstated, is that I need him feeling like a winner on fight week. And if I just start beating him, that's why we were so excited when Parramatta got up. I was like, all right, this is good vibes here. We're having a winning start to the week.
He's a deny till you die type guy. Just deny till you die. And it's amusing to watch.
I want you to finish this game. If you've put it away for safekeeping.
No, we will. It's on top of the oven.
Yeah.
Get it up on the stories because I want to see how the fuck this ends.
Yeah, well, man.
But don't go easy on him. Maybe an early loss would be good.
Oh, listen, I would be lying to the punter and the dribbler, and I think they know me well enough now to know that I will not be trying to lose. I just may lose. Losses are the most likely outcome, but I will be doing my darndest.
It's been good fun.
Good for you. Now, I was perusing the Alpha Events Instagram just earlier. There is a press conference Thursday, 4 p.m. Are you attending, Streety?
Fucking oath. Yeah.
We'll both be there.
And my coach will be there. Tom, you want to come?
Well, we've got to come. Eddie, you're not going to be up here by that stage, but we're meant to be going.
So Tom will be filling in. Well, not filling in. He'll just be supporting Team Hello Sport.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
do anything.
I'm looking forward to running an eye over Liam. I haven't seen. Do you know what? Actually, we have met before. I lied.
Yeah, you would have met. You would have met at that Hacker Major.
Yeah. And we had an arm wrestle. This is a dribbly fact rather than a yarn. But I was arm wrestling dribblers, as you do, schooners deep after a Hacker Major, back at the clubhouse. And he came up and he goes, "Can I be next?" I said, "Sure," and flatlined him.
Oh, you flatlined him.
Yeah.
Did ya?
Yeah.
Oh,
You've kept that quiet.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well,
are you going to bring that up tomorrow at the presser?
It's not like it's my proudest moment, and it was just a little arm wrestle. But I think the kid.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing. It's not nothing. But I think the kid has been boxing a fair while, so I'm expecting a good fight. Like, this is no.
I like that you called him a kid.
Like, he's a kid. He's how old is he? He's mid-20s.
He's 30. He's 30 on Saturday.
He turned 30 on fight night.
Okay. So he's young enough to be my son.
And you've beaten him in an arm wrestle, which isn't nothing. Is not nothing. I did not know that.
No, I didn't.
And I'll be honest, it was quick. It looked like he gave up. Like it was. Sorry, mate.
Wow.
We shook hands and then he left. And then I was chatting to the other inspired unemployed, the short fella. Both
Dom.
That was good fellas. Good fellas. Yeah, good fellas. Yeah.
But you did win an arm wrestle.
That was my only sort of interaction with Liam. I think, we didn't talk after the arm wrestle, so it'll be interesting to see him.
So it is 1-0. It's 1-0.
We'll have another arm wrestle if he lets me.
Because he's a competitive guy. He was on All Talk with us, and he gave the sense to Tom and I that he doesn't like losing. So,
look, no one likes losing, Liam, but you got to, in life, there's going to be L's and there's going to be W's, and you've got to be yourself in both of those categories, buddy.
Are you gonna bring it up tomorrow?
What? The fact that
the arm wrestle
in the arm wrestle category. Fuck, we'll see. Like, I'll see how we go. Like I said, I'm just excited to fucking get in amongst and see the whole shebang, see the whole lineup.
Have you got have you seen your shorts yet?
I have.
He trained in them last night.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
and they feel good.
Yeah, I've hung them up just so I'm looking at them. I put the boots on with it.
Nice. And, shout out to Tobler for getting them sorted. Because we gave him a tight timeline, but he did deliver. So well done to Tobler.
Evie was in her the kids' room, and she was looking out the window, and I was trying to put her to bed, and I'm like, "Come on, go to sleep." She's like, Hamish is outside punching something, and it was just Streety out there shadowboxing in the dark because he was doing his nighttime train, he hadn't trained or whatever. And Evie thought Streety was out there throwing punches at ghosts.
She goes, I was doing it in the kitchen in the morning as well, just going just head movement and stuff, and then she's going, Hamish, there's no one there, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it's just like a little dance, just moving around. It's like, who are you fighting? I'm like, no one.
Well, his name's Lamb, and he doesn't know what he's in for, and he's lost in an arm wrestle for 2 minutes.
He's already lost in an arm wrestle. You should have told Evie that. She would have fucking, I beat this guy in an arm wrestle a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to fight him again on fucking Saturday.
Yeah. Well, they've been busy fighting each other.
That's true, they have.
Warzone yesterday, Eddie. The largely my kid, Rosie.
No, dude, see, that's the thing we were saying. The parents are always think their kid's worse.
Yeah.
Our kids were being fucking dicks as well. You know what I mean? They were all being little shits yesterday. It was like, get to the end of the day, please.
You made a good point last night, though. Sometimes there's only so much you can do. You can't be the hero parent going, that's enough, too many times, because you start to go, this is a shit day. We're just going
and they also don't listen.
Physically remove you, and then they're not going to listen. Rosie's nearly 3, so it's not exactly like she's knows what to do.
I changed beds 3 times last night, Edward.
Did you?
I was in bed with my wife.
You're just using them all up.
In bed with my wife, 4 times actually. In bed with my wife.
Yep.
Then I heard Zoe crying, and I went and got in bed with her. Then Evie started crying. I got in bed with her. Then I got back in bed with Zoe, and Evie hopped in there, and I slept between both of them. And then Steph came and got me later in the night, and went back in it. I was fucking all over the place, mate.
So you're all over the rugby league map, son.
all over the map, beds galore.
And Streety, how's the wonderful Carly Austin,
Kalili.
Carly Street? How's she feeling ahead of Saturday?
She's good. When I first said that I was doing this, she was like, "What have you done?" And she was like, she went on his Instagram. She's like, "Fucking look at him! Like he's athletic. Like he's 6'2". Like you're 5'10". Like and I'm like, yeah, it's whatever. It's a challenge. It'll be good. And slowly but surely, like she's seen from when I decided to do this how hard I've worked, and I think my confidence has rubbed off on her, and now she's excited for it.
Is she coming?
Yeah.
She's going to come.
She's one of my free tickets, front row.
Hectic.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Well, do you know what day you're coming up yet, Ed?
Not yet. Friday or Saturday.
Sweet.
Friday or Saturday, but I will be there, and that's all that matters.
For a drink.
What time's kickoff?
I think it starts at 3. We got to probably be there a bit before then, but I think it starts at 3.
Okay.
The presser?
No, the actual fight day.
I think my fight's on at 8 p.m. It's the second last fight.
The co-main, son.
Co-main.
Well, that's where Jarchi fought last year. Hopefully it's a different outcome.
I'm wearing his boots. Hopefully the result isn't the
knocked out.
Outcome isn't sewed into the sole of the boot.
Well, mate, all you need to know is that if you just land a couple of jabs and the crowd starts chanting, just don't get
swept up in it.
Don't get swept up and drop your guard and throw a huge haymaker and get knocked out. And then lie about it for the next year and say that you weren't knocked out, even though you fucking.
I bet you all the fighters can attest to boxing advice, as valid as that is. You're just like your mum at the over Easter. It's like, hey, just be strong and just hold your hands in front.
He's just absolutely wrecked you there, Eddie.
Well,
listen.
No, I'm not. Yeah. I mean, sure. If that's how I sound, if I sound like Sarah, then sure. It is what it is.
One piece of advice, mate. It's like, well, yeah, thanks for the advice. You sound like my mum at Easter.
You sound like mum. Okay.
It's appreciated.
No, listen, I think what Eddie was just saying there is he was just saying don't do what Jarch did.
I'm saying don't suck your own cock during the fight and think you've won it.
Yes.
That was my advice.
100%. No, Jarch himself told me the same thing. I've been sparring with Jarch, and he was like, mate, I got so fucking just pumped with adrenaline. And you got to manage your adrenaline before the fight too. You got to go in nice and calm and just think like a boxer, and then let the dog out of the cage.
And
when the opportunity presents itself.
You're happy with your game plan? Obviously, we won't be going into anything like that. But the game plan's solid. You like where it's at?
Yeah, baby. Yeah, I'm very happy with the cardio. I'm happy with the I'll just leave it all up the sleeve and pull it out on the night. But
now
we go, man.
On that, just a shout out to the Punch Flow on Instagram.
Sam,
who has been training Streety for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. And shout out to his brother Jock, who's up here in the Gold Coast, who's going to be in the corner as well. Like both guys. Sam, who I've done the majority of this with, is just, and shout out to Jeff Athletic as well, who's been phenomenal right from the get-go. But Sam, yeah, man, he's got an interesting story just with his background from Dubbo.
Yep.
And those boxing circus, if you've seen on YouTube, and I forget the name of it, but they tour rural towns to town.
Tent boxing.
He basically grew up in, that kind of, you're a circus traveling act, and his dad was like a big boxing character that would, you fight the locals, and then his 2 sons, Jock and Sam, grew up having to box as well. And man, he just had so many.
A serious upbringing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but he's got a very good head on his shoulders, sharp boxing mind, and he lives in Bondi, lives his life. He has good clientele, and I think he's just doing real well for himself. So you couldn't have picked a better guy.
Well, he reached out, so shout out to Sam, one of the greats. Obviously from Dubbo really helps. So thanks to him for all his work with Streety. And like you said, to Jeff Athletic, who has been helping with the conditioning, I believe.
Well, the official fitness guru of the Shane Keith Productions universe.
Yeah. He got Tom and I to nearly having six-packs, famously, a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago, he got me in the greatest nick I've been for fucking since I finished school. And then obviously I let it all go to shit. But the fact that he was even able to do it, you know? Check him out, punters and dribblers. Check him the fuck out. Anything else? Any final words to the punter and the dribbler, to Liam, to anyone, Streety, before, you know, we like, oh, look at those triceps, cunt.
Fuck, you're a good nick.
That's all I wanted to say, fellas. I'm out. Fucking see you there. April 26th. Liam, I find you.
There are probably like 5 sleeping kids in that fucking house. All kids awake.
You woke him up?
Yeah, you woke them up.
You woke all of them up?
Well, this...
Did he?
He's definitely woken Zoe up. He's got a temperature of like 400 degrees. And then we don't know about Hazel. We'll find that out soon. He's like, fuck, sorry, dude. Streety, it was necessary. Don't apologise, mate. Don't apologise. No, don't apologise.
Tell him not to apologise.
No, I'm trying to get him not to apologise. Here he is.
I apologise.
No, don't apologise.
I do apologise to all the mums and dads out there.
Nah.
Haim was a bit silly, got a bit carried away.
No, he didn't.
Got to save it for the night, for fight night, not for bedtime.
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
Level. Mellow.
Well, that's me done.
Okay,
I'm going
that's
to go
you.
for a run.
Okay.
See you boys later.
Let's go, bro.
I'm so sorry.
Dude, don't fucking apologise again. Jesus Christ. That was fucking great.
We loved it. The punter and the dribbler loved it. No one loves a pachunk more than the punter and the dribbler.
Yeah, they live for it.
If you want to watch Streety in action and you aren't going to the event, if you want to hear your boys Tom and Eddy getting through like a 14-man card, you got to go to Alpha Events on Instagram. There'll be details there about how to buy the pay-per-view. I don't know them off the top of the dome. Don't shit down my throat Masood style. Just
pay
go
attention
to
to our stories. There'll be links to tickets, links to streaming stuff. It'll all be there. But also just go to Alpha Events, as Edward said, and you'll be able to find it. Dude, it's fucking... We're in the bloody commentary chair for a while.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
5 hours, dude.
Yeah, it's a big card.
Is that longer than last year?
Yeah, for sure. There's way more fights. There's like 40. I swear I counted like 14 fights.
I think there's 13.
13 fights. Okay. I think there was like 8 last year.
Right. Okay. We don't do interviews and shit between fights, at least.
Yeah. So we can have a breather during the ads. So that's okay. Man, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
I can't wait. I'm ready to absolutely rip and tear. I was taken aback. I was like, holy shit, 13 fights. I was like, that's a fucking...
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of rugby league fights.
But the fights aren't that long, are they, either? You know?
No. And you and I are elite, so...
Well, we've dribbled for a lot longer than 5 hours.
7 and change.
7 and change.
We've also done, 1 a.m. till fucking 7, 8 a.m. doing the Olympics for the nation. So
yeah. They couldn't have picked anyone better, really.
I mean, they've picked best in class. They've picked absolute thoroughbreds.
Yep.
Who are up to it.
Up to it. I have put out a call to friend of the show, Uncle Reedy, to see if we can get him on. Because, dude, this Lucky Galvin thing's just become an absolute clusterfuck. And Reedy's writing about it a lot. There's, Reedy's getting sort of, oh, you're best mates with Isaac Moses. That's what some of the journos say. And I sometimes wonder whether journos who, don't have relationships with people that can help further the story get a little bit salty. They don't have them.
Yep. Of course they do.
But then sometimes you're also like, are they just... They're trying to stay impartial, but, you need to have birdies.
Well, it depends how the article's written as well, right? Like, if all you're doing is quoting or telling a story from one side of the aisle, which is clear, and that is painted as such. I don't think it's the end of the world. You just go, and here's another side of the story. you know, because there's multiple sides of stories. It's when you frame it so to be like, this is the absolute whole truth. I think that's when impartiality is taken away, Tom, and maybe you can open up to yourself to critique. But you're right. There's journos out there, egos, Tom, huge egos. This is the biggest story since. It's the biggest story of the year, put it that way.
It's comfortably the biggest story of the year.
So people that have got fuck all to write are jealous. Yeah. I think that's pretty obvious.
I wonder whether Reedy, and I, as I say it, I think I know the actual answer, but like, even if he was to tell you and I off the record what the like uglier truth could be around this Galvin thing, that everyone's like, oh, they don't want that uglier truth to come out. Oh, they don't want that ugly truth to come out. You're like, what the fuck could that be?
Did you read it? Like, there was a comment, wasn't there, on the Instagram or on the YouTube?
Yeah, I don't want to go off that.
I don't want to read. I want to read that out. But do you think that's it?
Well, I don't know. Could be. It could be.
But is that like? Is that but, I mean, dark?
Well, it's not dark. I think dark was. I think I even said dark feels like too dark for a characterization for what is actually going on. But it's like ugly. There's some uglier truths lurking below the surface. The one that we're referring to here, that comment feels uglier as opposed to darker.
Yes. Dark's reserved for like dark stuff, you know?
Yeah, dark stuff. Of which there's a bit of that in the news as well. And not that I'm here to talk dark stuff. I mean, again, like, it's a Thursday pod and it's also a Gold Coast pod and it's a, you know, we're not in the same place pod. So who the fuck knows where you go? But there's some dark shit in the news that certainly puts into contrast the darkness or potential darkness of a rugby league story, which isn't that dark. Did you see that mother that got abducted and killed?
Yeah, I did.
That's one of the heaviest fucking things I've ever heard. It was gobsmackingly awful. Where you're just like, what?
Jesus Christ. I actually saw that story originally from Liam Tapper, Tom.
Whom yes.
You know, on his TikTok, and I was like, fucking hell, Liam.
Jesus, you're on TikTok a lot.
This is an ouch story. Yeah, I'm on it occasionally, yeah.
No, not occasionally, and I'm not, this is not criticism. TikTok's a platform, right? It's a big one. I just I don't think I ever truly fathom how much you're on there. It's your platform of choice.
It'd be 50-50, I'd say.
Mine would be 98 to 2, if that.
Great. Do you want a medal or something?
Well, no, I don't want a medal. I just don't find. I don't. I find it.
Up a ribbon.
Well, would you? You wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't do it.
No, not for you.
No. You couldn't fucking stitch to save your life, mate.
Oh, mate, listen. Dubbo South High. Dubbo South High. I did
to save your life, mate.
At Dubbo South High, I did fucking. What would you even call it? I did a couple of terms of textiles. A couple of terms of textiles.
Yeah,
I made my own board shorts, mate. So fucking shut up.
Fuck, I'd love to see those board shorts, dude.
I think they had frogs on them.
That is so cool, dude.
Yeah, mate. I've manned the sewing machine. Don't worry about that.
So have I, mate. I made a pillowcase once. Don't think you're the only one that's fucking ridden a Sowie before, bro.
Mate, when you get a Sowie humming, that's a pure feeling.
No, it is. There's something wild and free about riding a Sowie.
Yeah, because you know you're only moments away from disaster, but when it's
from completely fucking
fucking everything and having to de-stitch, but. Yeah. When you got a Sowie humming, and it's just pounding away, and you're getting that good line,
you can't be stopped.
You can't be stopped. I don't know if Bum's got those boardies that I made, but
did you ever wear them? Did you ever fucking take them for a spin?
I did. No, I used to wear them. Yeah, yep.
Dude, is there a photo of you in those frog boardies?
I don't know. We'll have to fucking have a look. Or maybe they were boxes. Boxes or boardies, something like that. A long time ago now. But I have stitched, Tom. Point is I can stitch.
You can or you could?
Could.
Yeah, probably could now. And also like...
I used to be able to use a lathe, mate. Like, I used to be quite skilled.
What the fuck is a lathe?
A
I've
lathe?
heard of a lathe.
Oh,
What is a lathe?
Oh, a lathe, mate. You get a bit of wood in there and you can fucking fuck around with it. It spins like that, and you can just, you can do like table legs and all kinds of shit.
So you're not sewing.
No, I'm just saying I was particularly handy, mate.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
If I wasn't sewing, I was lathing. If I wasn't lathing, I was potting.
Oh, potting.
Yeah.
I bet.
Throw a bit of clay in the kiln, mate.
Oh, see, I used to do that. I used to get into me kiln work.
Yeah.
Back as like a 7-year-old, I reckon. Gibgate School in Barrel on the kiln.
Yeah, I made some fucked up things in a kiln. I
made a park bench, mate. You want to talk about fucking building? I made a park bench for me tennis court when I was a young kid.
Did you?
Yeah, mate. You wouldn't sit on it, but you could fucking. It looked the part.
Well, I've still got a table in my grandma's house that I made for her. Beautiful little sort of side table.
Oh yeah.
No word of her.
What do you mean?
No word of a lie.
Oh no. Yeah, righto.
No, next time I'm home, I might take a photo of it and fucking send it to you.
Well,
Go,
get
that up, you fucking cheeky cunt.
Stitching and sewing aren't the same thing while we're back on it. So you might be able to stitch up some fucking lame frog boardies that absolutely would have had no panties dropping back at South WI. But could you actually sew me a medal or a ribbon? I don't think you could.
Could I sew you a ribbon? No.
Yeah, right. Exactly right.
Could you though, mate?
You're the one saying you wouldn't sew me a ribbon.
No, exactly. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I
Well,
wouldn't.
you couldn't. Because you couldn't.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, but because you couldn't.
No, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't. Because you couldn't.
No. No, but I wouldn't know. That's all that
the
matters.
inference is that you could, so it doesn't matter because you can't.
Watch Supercharged Super Rugby live and on demand on Stan Sport.
Stan Sport is your one-stop shop for live coverage of every match of the Super Rugby Pacific, plus exclusive minis, highlights, and weekly rugby shows hosted by Wallabies legends Matt Burke, Morgan Tiranui, and Tim Horan, Tom.
The only place to watch all the action ad-free and live and on demand is on Stan Sport. Add Stan Sport to your Stan subscription for only $15 a month.
Head to stan.com.au/sport now.
Eddie, it's been a great week for those in the business of wanting to get hydrated and take your multivitamins.
Seriously, if you're looking to take your health a little bit more seriously than you are, which is in a lot of cases non-existent, then Good Day's right up everyone's alley, right? So that's job done. Tick. Looked after your nutritional health. Then you're like, fuck, am I doing really dirty, wet, yellow, disgusting, smelly wheeze? Am I dehydrated? Am I one of the 8 out of 10 Australians?
Dehydrated? Yeah.
Go to begoodhealth.com.au. Daylight's on sale now. It's fucking terrific. Taking the world by storm. It is super nice to drink.
I've got to be honest, the feedback has been fantastic.
Yeah, it
which
has.
I'm happy about.
Yeah.
And obviously, if the feedback was awful, I may not come out here and lead with that information, but the feedback has been particularly good. begoodhealth.com.au.
Code Dribblers, 10% off.
Reedy, how you doing, mate?
How are you, boys? I'm good. How are you guys?
Good,
Yeah,
mate.
not too bad. Sorry, I flicked you a message to see if you could do it, and then I was just like, fuck it, we'll give you a buzz and see if you answer.
I texted you back.
No, did you? No, you said yeah, when can you do it? And then I said in 5 mins. But I'd missed your reply. All good. These things happen. But I just wanted to let you know, we don't want to just usually call you out of the blue if we can avoid it.
I'm on call for you, Blake. Don't worry.
Oh, that's what we love to hear that, Uncle Reedy. What about rugby league at the moment? And like it is a spicy sport, and you seem to have found yourself right in the thick of it.
Well, we love this, don't we? It's a soap opera. It's a soap opera played out before our very eyes, and I think the past, you know what? I was going to say the past fortnight, but it's been about 5-6 weeks now of soap opera, one storyline after the other storyline, and this one's a beauty, and it's intrigued everyone.
Yeah, big time, and you know, there's so many different players. And by the players, I mean more just like, but there's so many different parties involved. There's some journos speaking to one side, other journos speaking to the other side. You had a piece in the Men's Women's Weekly, the Daily Telegraph today, speaking to Richo.
Yeah,
that's the first time is it the first time we've probably heard Richo speak?
Yeah, at length. It's the first time we've spoken at length about the issue. And I'm apparently an Isaac Moses mouthpiece. So
well, that's what we've heard. That's what we've been discussing before you came on. We were like, Uncle Reedy, the Isaac's best mate. How does that work? How did you become Isaac's best bud?
Well, I'm not Isaac's best mate. I'm just a believer you should tell both sides of the story, and he deserves to have his say just as Richo deserves to have. That's journalism. People seem to forget that at times. Telling both sides of the story is what we should do, unless you're writing comment or analysis or something like that. If you're just telling the story, you should tell both sides and let people make their own decisions. So that involves speaking to Isaac Moses. That involves speaking to Shane Richardson. I'm happy to speak to them both. I have no issues with either of them guys.
Do you find that sometimes, because like I've even heard a few times in the last sort of since this story's been going anyway, and since predominantly I'd say you've been speaking not for Isaac, but you've been reporting his side of the story, where some journos will refer to you as such, where it's like, oh, he's the mouthpiece for Isaac, or he's in Isaac's camp, or he's friends with Isaac. Is that sour grapesy journalistic rhetoric?
Well, sometimes it is, yeah. Of course it is. I mean, if he's not necessarily speaking to other people, then people get annoyed by that. Just as, when the Daly Cherry Evans thing unfolded, his management was only speaking to one side. They weren't speaking to us. They weren't speaking to the Telegraph. So, you do get a bit salty about that, because really at the heart of what we do is we tell a story and we want to tell both sides of it where we can. But we tried to tell it with the Daly Cherry Evans story, but one side wouldn't talk to us, so it was impossible. And that's, that inevitably leads to a little bit, I guess, of sour grapes, doesn't it? Everyone wants to be liked, guys. We all want to be loved. We all want to be embraced by both sides. And if only one side embraces us, it hurts a little bit.
Well, that's to be human, Reedy. Now, mate, you were at the presser the other day when Benji went whack. Jerome came in there. Like, was that one of the most impressive performances you've seen in a press conference from a coach under the pump? I thought he was terrific, Benj.
Particularly a bloke who hasn't been a head coach for that long. It's only his second season. So to handle that the way he did, I mean, the thing about Benji is he's a very smart guy, right? I mean, Benji's really highly intelligent, and he's been in front of a camera for, 20 years now. So he knows how to handle himself in front of a camera. But even so, these were circumstances he hasn't been in before, and I thought he handled it really well. I thought he handled that all the questions that came at him really well, and he refrained from being critical of Lockie, and that would have really infuriated things. So I think he took a bit of the moral high ground. I think that's what you need to do in this situation.
He didn't want to speculate on some of your questions, mate.
No, but I've got a good relationship with Benj. I've known him a long time, and I've covered his entire career. And Benji's one of those blokes who, look, he'll get the tips with you, right? He'll get the shits with you, but he gets over it. So I've got a good relationship with Benj, contrary to what some people might seem to suggest, thinking of an Isaac stooge. But I'm happy to talk to Benji anytime.
What about when you're in those press conferences? Obviously, the goal is to get some meat, some juice, try and get him to say something. Like, it felt like in that one particularly, everyone kept asking him basically the same sort of questions. What do you think? What do you think? And he kept going like, mate, I don't know. Like, are there any tactics? Are you looking through any like psychology textbooks on how to get someone to say something they don't want to say?
No, we just asked the same question different ways about 4 or 5 times. And that's what happened to Benji, because everyone wanted to know whether, Lockie thinks he can't coach, or had told him he can't coach, or, and Benji wasn't going to buy into that, and good on him for not buying into it, because it would have put Lockie in a really difficult position that Benji had come out and said, he's told me I can't coach. And he didn't do that anyway. He wanted to go somewhere else because he thought it'd be better for his development. And that's just not a criticism, or you can look at it as a criticism of Benji, but I think it's more expansive than that. I think, he wants to go to a club that he believes would be better for his development. That's not just the head coach. That's across the board, I reckon. That's where I think that's been a little bit lost in translation.
Yeah, right. And in terms of the way this all came about, I feel like over the course of all of the different, information being revealed, and one side makes a point, and you're like, oh yeah, fuck that makes sense, and then another side comes out, or someone else is speaking on behalf of the other camp. Your mind could almost be changed a bit. And one thing I heard, I think it was from Aaron Woods on Triple M. Woodsy, also famously managed by Isaac Moses, so he's like you, Reedy, another mouthpiece. And he had sort of, I'm paraphrasing here, but at some point been like, Moses, after they went to, like, the Tigers brought this thing to a head, whether it's because they heard that he was being shopped around, for whatever reason, they brought it to a head, offered him the money, and basically Isaac was like, he doesn't want to, don't waste your time, he wants to go. Have the Tigers fucked up by going out and doing like a press release about this? Like, could they have just sort of kept it quiet and like, okay, like what's the point of coming out with that press release and blowing it all up, and now it's become one of the great shit shows of our time?
Well, I asked Shane Richardson about this yesterday when I spoke to him, and I think from their point of view, the situation was not going to change. There was no, if they waited till November, the answer still would have been the same. It wouldn't have mattered how they went the rest of the season, because I think Lachlan Galvin's at a point where he just wants to go, and nothing was going to change the mind on that. So going to him early obviously gives them clarity, right? I think that's what they wanted, because they'd heard what we'd all heard. He wasn't going to stay. So they just wanted a definitive answer, some definitive clarity, which then allows them to go and channel their efforts towards keeping Callan De Silva, keeping Latu Fanu. It tells them how much money they've got to spend come November 1. I mean, on November 1, they now have a truckload of cash that they can spend for next year, because they were going to give a lot of that to Lachlan Galvin. They were going to upgrade him this year and next year.
But what I mean, really, is why announce it? Why come out and say the press release? Well, the press release blows it all up.
Well, but I think their view was people are going to find out anyway. As I said, we all knew that he wasn't going to stay. We all knew that before the meeting. So once they had the meeting, it was going to get out. It would have got out. So their view was, let's just put it out there so that there's not, we're going to have to address it eventually anyway, because nothing stays secret regularly for too long. So let's just get on the front foot, tell people what the situation is, and hopefully we can move on. Obviously, it hasn't panned out that way, but I just think they thought it's better if we control the narrative, because if we don't, it's going to get out, and then we've got no control.
And it's the interesting point, because that's even that controlling the narrative thing was what was brought up during the DCE saga, which was like, he got ahead of it, and he controlled the narrative. Like, it's sort of quite important whether it's club or player who controls the narrative there. And I don't know, I guess it just, when I heard that, I was like, sure, it may have got out and it may have leaked, but without confirmation, it's still just like whispers and innuendo. But the way it's gotten so radioactive, who knows how the season will progress now, but it feels like it's really kind of fucked them a little bit, or at least it's just thrown a real chaotic tone across the whole season. Whereas if you just were like, listen, we're not going to say anything until November 1 or whatever, like at least we can keep a bit more harmony within the club.
You could argue the same about Daly, though. I mean, the Daly Cherry Evans situation, look at that now.
Yeah.
That's got the potential to completely explode, because you've got people calling for him to lose a captaincy, people saying he shouldn't play Origin. I mean, that hasn't died away. That's not going away. Manly lose this weekend, it's going to hit the fan again.
Against the four-time defending premiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But who are struggling, who are battling a little bit, or have.
No, they're back ready. They're back.
They're going to win on the weekend, right?
Yeah, they're back. They're back ready.
Yeah, and Tommy's back this week, which will help Manly. But I would say to you that necessarily hasn't been controlled any better. It's been just as bad, really. Do you remember?
Yeah, it's fair.
I always tell people in this game, you just got to get through a week. If you can get through a week, most things last a week. Because as journos, we get pretty bored after a week. Well, we want to move on to the next story.
Yeah.
So this has run a week. It's probably got a bit longer left in it, right? Because it's a significant one. But this time next week, we'll have moved on.
Well, mate, but like, what's all this like this stuff going on where they're like, I think it was maybe Gus or Chamis on 100% footy, and they were like, oh, this thing has uglier like undertones. Like, they need to sort this out quick. I'm not asking for you to necessarily say what they are if you're privy to it, but like, that doesn't seem like it's about to finish then if it gets to that point.
Yeah, I've said this before. I think I can't remember which one. It might have been Dylan Brown where I said, the first casualty of war's the truth, right? Well,
yeah, and he said that.
There's a little bit. I know it was on this. I can't remember what it was about though. But there's a little bit of that going on where it's a bit of gilding of the lily, right? There's these stories that, yeah, okay, they're getting shared around. I'm not sure how many of them are true and how many aren't. You know, you've got to be really careful, I reckon, in these situations. You've got to double and triple check everything you're told because there's just so many vested interests at play. And, you know, I think some of the stories maybe they're referring to aren't necessarily as bad as what some would have you believe.
Mm. And Lockie Galvin, will he be at the Tigers next year, mate? What are you hearing from the Moses camp?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they'd love to get him out right now if they could. I mean, why else would you launch legal action against the club? My gut feel is he'll finish the year and be gone in the off-season. That's my gut feel right now. But this is constantly, and when you get lawyers involved and legal letters are sent, then the landscape changes pretty significantly. So I think this is going to be a weekly thing until the legal action plays out. But my gut feel is he'll finish this season and I'll look at it in the off-season.
Okay. Now, obviously, we get through the week in rugby league and you're doing all right, and the next scandal's just around the corner. Have you got any for us? Again, without notice.
Oh. You love it without notice scandal question, don't you?
What's the big new topic?
I think DC is going to be a big story next week, boys. I really do. I mean, we're getting close to Origin. He's not playing that good, right? You've got Tommy Dearden, Cameron Munster as alternatives in the half for Queensland. If they lose this week, the captaincy I think is going to remain an issue. I think and look, we all think he's going to the Roosters, right? The sooner he announced it, the better for everyone, and the better for him. I think that's going to be a big story after the weekend. I really do. I think it's going to bubble. It's simmering, right? It's simmering away in the background, and I think it's going to bubble over at some point. And it might be that it happens next week.
Well, that's good news, Eddy. Thanks, mate. Love that you're finishing a fucking Manly night, mate.
So obviously, you think we're going to get pumped this weekend. He's going to play like shit, and then it's going to. That's what you're saying.
You know what else is really interesting? If the Dragons win this week, right, on the Anzac Day, then Para's got the bye. The Roosters will go last. They'll be 17th. That's the story. Is it
Roosters going last is particularly if they're and then they're going for Cherry Evans, who's playing like shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the Roosters, you're running stone motherless, you would want the Cherry Evans story to come out next week because it gives their fans a little bit of hope. But if Cherry Evans is playing so bad he's getting dropped from Origin, and then it's this is our guy who's also 36, 37. I feel like part of that plays into the Roosters' really bad run of recruits. Yeah, potentially. Well, that has that potential as well, doesn't it? So those two stories are sort of entwined. We'll be keeping an eye on them over the next few days, I reckon.
Yep, okay. All right, Reedy, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, mate.
It's been fantastic to speak to you again. Brent Reid, NRL 360. What's the Triple M show called?
It's called NRL Daily. And don't forget the Daily Telegraph and Code Sports, boys. Don't forget the Daily Telegraph and Code Sports.
No, absolutely not. We would never forget those. Yep. Daily Telegraph, Code Sports, Brent Reid, Hello Sport, Gossip Guys. Thanks, Reedy.
See you, boys.
See you, mate.
Well, there you go, Ed.
There you go. Hey?
I fucking love talking to Reedy.
There you fucking go, mate. Hey? Hey?
I didn't like that he...
The old mouthpiece.
I didn't like... Yeah, exactly, mate. Moses mouthpiece. The Moses mouthpiece. He should put that into his Instagram bio, which is Reedy's mail.
Yeah, he should. Mate, what do you... I wish he just told us what this juicy goss is. That's what I wanted.
We should have just asked him off the record. I might even text him and see. What we should have actually asked him was, did you see that Manly's offered Fogarty now apparently a third year? Because the Raiders have offered him two. The Raiders were offering him one, and it was he's just going to go to Manly. Then they bumped him up to two because Ricky's all over the place.
Yep.
And then now I think Manly's offered him three.
Yeah, all right. That's starting to get up there.
Yeah.
3 years is starting to get a bit long in the tooth for mine.
It's starting to get up there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting to get up there. Yep. Yeah, starting to get up there. 2 years is the absolute max. One perfect, two, whatever. Three, too many. Too many.
Well, no, I'll take two. I think two's perfect for Fogarty.
One with an extra option in the club's favour, it would be perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Because then you can make real decisions. But 2's okay. 2's very workable. 2's fine. 3's not great.
No.
3's not great.
3's okay. 3's okay.
But we just come back to the same old question, Tom. What was the plan? If you didn't want Sherry Evans, what was the plan? Because this feels like it's getting put together on the run.
Yeah, it does. Because obviously Fogarty not locked in. Which obviously they couldn't speak to Fogarty because it wasn't the 6th of round 6 or whatever. Anyway, I don't know. But that's excuse me, butters and dribblers.
God, we just need Turbo to come back this weekend and just get us firing, because at the moment,
absolutely rip, dude. We need him to rip.
We are so flat.
Yeah,
we are taxed.
I'll be a bit flat if we go for Toby Sexton. I've got to be honest. Like, I don't mean to be rude, but I will be.
That's not your style, mate. You're not a rude
I
guy.
will be a little bit flat.
Yeah.
I don't know what else there is, mate. Is there anything else? Piastri's fucking top of the drivers. So there's that.
Good on you, mate. Hey.
On ya, Oscar.
On ya. Why do you talk more F1?
Why don't you talk more fucking motorsport, bruh?
Sorry, mate, because if we did, you'd be fucking mortified. So
yeah, exactly. I don't watch it.
I don't watch it. Tom, I'm excited to see you, old boy. Again, a reminder, tune in this Saturday at 3 p.m. to watch myself, Tom, calling the Biffs.
With Isaac Hardman, Australian boxing royalty.
That's right. And obviously we've got big Street Fighter Street. The co-main against Liam. Get that up, you lad.
Get that up, you lad.
Peace.
Ciao.
Could you two just not talk anymore?